trip to Las Vegas.
We're live.
We're live.
Alive.
Stadium swim again. Once again, we are back at Circle Resort, hanging out. You'll notice right now, we have an empty seat right here. One of us is not very punctual.
He's on his way.
I'm Rob Dauster. We have Terrence Oglesby right here. There's an empty seat. T.O., what's going on? What happened here?
Some guys try to fight through adversity. Other guys are 5 minutes late. But he'll be here. He's coming. He'll be here.
Allegedly.
And then on top of that, too, like, you get our opinions, and then Jeff comes in, and you find out which opinions to fade. Because that's what I'm getting. Yes. That's what I'm getting on my Twitter feed anyway. Yes. So that's good.
We are presented by our partners over at Bet River Sportsbook. We are presented by Underdog Fantasy, 100% deposit match. Up to $100 with your first deposit.
Not a gambling situation.
Use the code FIELD. Tio, before we start talking about today's games, we got Creighton, San Diego State. We got Miami, Texas. I do just want to circle back to last night because I think two wild things happened. One, UConn made a Final Four.
Hey!
And two, Florida Atlantic, number 9 seed Florida Atlantic is here in the Final Four as Jeff Goodman decides to grace us with his presence. What do you make of that?
We just started like 10 seconds ago, so you're good. Crazy night.
I tried.
Uber's a pain to get a hold of out here in Vegas. Like, you can forget it. I feel much better today. Plus, I got an extra shot of espresso in my coffee. This is yours. Yeah. You see the frills on the top.
Dauster actually got this.
You had to get it. No, it was Dauster because I refused to order it.
Look at that. Thank you.
I refused to order it.
Well, I'm gonna, what do you got in it? What did you do to it? What alcohol is in there?
No comment.
How were the tables last night?
I'm feeling good.
You're back. Let's go. He's back.
I'm back up.
That's good news.
From a huge hole.
Yeah. He's back. He's back from a huge hole.
I should have rolled with you last night. I should have.
Yeah, you should have.
I needed to get back out of the hole.
It was a really bad table early, and then it was.
No, it was good. You stuck with it. Good for you. Digging out of that hole. Good for you. All right.
There we go.
FAU, Final Four.
Balanced, tough, Dusty May, Owls, basketball. That's all you need to hear.
I think we got to call him Dustin May, though. Remember the tweet from, I think it was like CBS Sports or something, when he won a game, maybe their first game. They called him Dustin May. So I'm just going to call him Dustin when I see him in the
Big fan of Dustin. What's his middle name? Do you know?
I don't know.
We need to figure that out.
He looks like the All-American dude, doesn't he?
Yeah.
He looks like Indiana basketball.
Dustin Gerald May.
Probably.
Yep.
Probably.
That sounds about right.
Listen, he's done one hell of a job building that program. I mean, you think about it, like, that program was so bad for so long, right? You had Mike Jarvis.
Yeah.
You had Michael Curry.
They really swung for the fences for like a long time and then couldn't really get it going.
Well, swinging for the fences is hiring big names that don't want to work.
Right.
That's my biggest issue with some of these like low to mids, right? Sure. You want these retreads because they win you the press conference. And Dusty May was not a big name at all. He was a guy who just put his head down, went about his business for Mike White. That's what he did. And look at him now. And that, to me, is the value of having, again, I know I'm anti, to some degree, the former NBA guys coming in because they don't understand the work it takes. Dusty May knows, you know what? Yeah, I got a family, but I got to be on the phone all day, all night, recruiting, developing these guys, being in the gym. Not the NBA guys aren't in the gym. I think they're in the gym working with the kids. Yeah. I don't think they're on the phone all day, all night recruiting.
And at that level, too, it's finding the right guys.
Right. Yes.
Right? I mean, think about, like, Golden. Like, he could have been seen as, in high school, a big, stiff kid who couldn't really move all that much.
Right.
Now, he's really turned him into a player that competes every night. Doesn't matter who they play against. Credit to Dusty May.
Dustin May. Dustin May has done a hell of a job, too. Like, he's very similar to Mike White. Like, he's got a really good personality. He's got some shit to him. Just a good dude who does things the right way. Right. And that's why he's not going to just jump to jump. You know, he's not going to take the first job that's offered. I guess he could have had something earlier in the cycle or at least gone through the process and told them to wait. And I don't think that's going to be him. I think he's going to stay there. I don't know if he's going to be. Listen, what he's done, I will argue, what he's done is more impressive than what made Shaka Smart on par with Brad Stevens at one point in his career.
Why?
It's a worse job. Like VCU, you've got all the resources.
There's a lot of support there.
VCU is arguably and was the best job in its league at that point, right?
Yep.
Still is, probably, right?
I mean, right there with Dayton.
Dayton is
right there with
great
Dayton.
job. Dayton is a
right?
great
Those
job.
two are probably 1A and 1B. Again, we've been through it. FAU was, and the league has changed a little bit with realignment, but it was the 13th best job out of 14 teams when I did a complete breakdown. And I talked to all the coaches in that league and had them rank it, resources, location, which obviously their location is the one advantage, but
Sure.
Resources in terms of their arena is, I mean, it's garbage.
Do you think we're going to start seeing basically a year delay between guys making a big move in the tournament and them getting jobs the following year, just because of the urgency to
They go
hire
so
guys
deep.
quicker?
Yeah,
right?
they go.
Because
I mean,
of the portal
how do you
and all that
hire?
stuff?
You're not waiting. Like, should Notre Dame? Well, Micah Shrewsbury did a hell of a job too, right? And he fits. He's obviously an Indiana guy, the state of Indiana guy. Dusty is an Indiana University guy. You just wonder now, like, hey, Mike Woodson isn't young.
Yep.
He's losing his whole team. We'll see what he does with that program. But
Sure.
that program could go one of three ways, right? It could elevate if they get the right guys on the portal. It could kind of stay where it was this year, which was like top 25-ish most of the year, and then you get knocked out in the second round. Like, good. Got them back to be nationally relevant. Or they could completely fall off if they don't take advantage of this.
Sure.
It's wild to think about how Dustin May.
Dustin May.
Dustin Gerald.
Poor Dusty. He has no idea what he. Hey, I'm going to be at the one of the pressers. Jeff Goodman from Stadium.
What's your middle name?
68. Hey, Dustin.
It's just wild to think about how this dude is at Florida Atlantic, and now Goodman is touting him like, yeah, he could get the Indiana job.
Totally.
It's 1 year. It's 1 year.
Well,
Before
last
this-
year they were pretty good. I mean, they've progressively gotten better in a league that, like, listen, UAB way better for everything. Again, we've gone through Western Kentucky.
Well, people don't understand how good Conference USA is in the mid-major.
Yeah,
Like,
North
they're-
Texas is awesome.
North Texas is phenomenally coached. Great team, won a game in the
Yes.
tournament a couple years ago. UAB, Jelly Walker, Andy Kennedy. They've
Western Kentucky
they
had
made noise.
Slick Rick.
Western Kentucky. It's just that's a very, very
Right,
good,
good
very
program.
tough league.
Right.
And
Yes.
Florida Atlantic just rolled through it.
Right.
And it's just
It's like kind of what,
But it just blows
it's like
my
what
mind.
Shaheen did a little bit at St. Peter's last year, except Florida Atlantic dominated the regular season.
Exactly.
But it's
That's the
not. But it's
difference.
not like what like Shaheen kind of caught lightning in
Well,
a bottle.
that's what
when
I'm
he got to the
saying. I'm
tournament.
saying he did it regular
he's-
season and he's done
But
it.
this isn't like the difference is this isn't a fluke. Like what they did during the season, they went into Florida. Remember,
It's a really
we were
good
watching
coffee,
it.
by the way.
We were watching it.
I don't know what you did to it.
We were in Indianapolis, right? It was me, URC. We were sitting at a steakhouse. We were watching Florida Atlantic, Florida, on my cell phone at a steakhouse. They beat their ass in Florida. Like this, it's not a fluke. This is not something where they lost. They're like, take Fairleigh Dickinson, for example, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to say that, but it was a little fluky.
Lightning
Like,
in a bottle.
You got a good matchup. You got a team that kind of choked, and it just is what it is. That's not Florida Atlantic. They're beating everybody's ass. They beat everybody's ass all season long.
That's right.
This is just a very, very good basketball
And according
team.
to Chris Hughes, like that league is elite because you got two in the NIT Final Four. You
got
got
the
Charlotte
you got the
that won the
CBI
CBI, and then now, of course, FAU's right in the mix.
All right. Last final thought on UConn Final Four. I had this conversation with someone the other night who basically what they said is that they think that Dan Hurley should be in the conversation for National Coach of the Year for turning around what it was in January to where they are now.
No.
I don't agree. I don't agree.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. I think he's done a terrific job, don't get me wrong. And they had to figure some things out in January whenever Andre Jackson was getting Monster Man, which we talked about last night. Monster Man,
we
they're
don't
putting a
agree.
guy in the paint,
Yeah, we don't
and
agree.
they're just not guarding him. But they had to figure some of those things out. They hit their rut at the right time, and now they're playing better. But as far as, guys, the talent's been there all year. I mean, you look at some of the different –
Coach of the Year?
I think it's
Tang?
between Tang and, to be honest with you, I thought Shaka did a great job too.
I
at
know, but you
Marquette.
lose early in the tournament. To
That's
me,
right.
He did a great job.
That's
but
right.
To me, if you're
But
voting
it was
today,
it was Tang and
if
Smart for
you're
me.
taking the tournament into consideration, I think you probably go Jerome Tang.
Yes.
That's
No? You don't think so?
yeah. That's insane to me.
But what?
That's absolutely insane to me.
Which
The
part?
best, what we've seen in this tournament is the best top 4, top 5 in college basketball is in the Big East. Shaka Smart, with a team that was picked 9th in the Big East preseason, won the Big East by 2 full games.
He also returned a lot of guys, and Tang only had 2 players from last year's roster.
And a rookie head coach.
And then won.
A
and
rookie.
Then won. But Tang didn't win anything. What did he win? He didn't win the Big 12 regular season. He didn't win the Big 12 tournament. He didn't make the Final Four. They made a nice run.
He set Manhappy ablaze.
They had a hell of a year. Shaka hung 2 banners at Marquette, picked 9th in the league, won the best league in college basketball by 2 full games, or the league with the best top.
But they didn't make it past the first weekend, Rob.
So what? So
saying.
what? The NCAA. Are you gonna? I can't.
It means more. Yeah, it means more. Of course, it means more.
The coffee at Jackpot's Coffee.
We know it means more.
Right.
But
was strong this morning.
But the idea of canceling out.
I'm not canceling it.
Yes, you
I'm
are.
weighing
what you are saying.
Tang went going to the Elite 8 as more, far more, because it should be weighed far more heavily. It should be. Yes.
Not more than the guy that won the Big East regular season by 2 games and the Big East tournament. Tang won nothing, and I love him. He did a great job.
Yeah.
He's got to be in the conversation for Big 12 Coach of the Year.
I mean, Dustin May should be in the conversation.
Absolutely.
Absolutely he should.
Absolutely he should be. I'm still going to go with Shaka, but I would take Dusty May over Jerome
I
Tang.
bet Dusty May wins one of those awards because there's like 10 or 15 of them. He'll win a few of them.
Yeah, some of them win.
Yeah.
Most of them have already been given out, though. That's the problem.
Oh, I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
everyone does the awards like before.
Well, see,
the tournament
there's
starts.
another issue with that. Like
Yes.
you vote before the regular seasons or the conference tournaments are over. So
Yeah. So, of all the teams left in the tournament, we got Creighton, we got San Diego State, we got Miami, we got Texas, we got Florida Atlantic.
Sure.
Out of those 5, who has the best chance of knocking off UConn? Because I think we all agree they're the favorite right now. Your pick to win it?
Yeah, right now, of course. Right now they're going to win this thing. I think to be honest with you, the winner of this Texas Miami game, whoever's in the Final Four that matches up with UConn, that's a national championship game.
It's going to be a game.
That's going to be a great game.
I mean, Creighton can beat UConn.
They have beaten UConn. I just the way they're playing right now.
Right. I mean, that's the thing. Like UConn has so much.
You know what's funny about that? Real quick on Creighton against UConn. UConn has beaten Greg McDermott once since they've been back in the Big East.
Yeah,
once.
Here,
that was this year at home. Now they should have. They had a very real chance to beat them at Creighton. If you remember, Jordan Hawkins hit a 3 to force overtime, but his toe was on the line. Remember that shot?
Oh yeah.
So they had a very real chance to beat them in Omaha this year. But yeah, Greg McDermott is I think he's 8-1 agaest Danny Hurley.
So
how many units would that be for the Big East if you had Creighton versus UConn?
Daddy Greg.
Daddy Greg.
I'm not calling him Daddy Greg.
Daddy Greg. Danny. That was him. That was him. That was not me.
He'll have that on the bulletin board.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, seriously, right?
He will. Hey, watch.
No, but that's your championship game. Is that?
I hope
Final Four game?
you're wrong.
I hope I am too.
I just hope there's good games. Like that's what I'm not like I'm a little worried about it. I mean, again, it's so funny because again, all the national people are going to be like, this Final Four sucks. This, you don't have this, you don't have the big boys, blah 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 blah. Like to me, I'm super excited to see something different.
I am too.
And there are great storylines. Obviously, we know with FAU, it's an incredible storyline, and you give them a shot this year as opposed to when George Mason or VCU went. It was all right, cute story, but they're going to get steamrolled.
They can beat Creighton and they can beat San Diego State. They can beat either of those teams.
Right.
I don't think they can beat UConn.
That would be the most. I'm trying to think of another team. You said 85 Villanova. That would be a huge ordeal.
But Villanova was still Villanova. Villanova
that's what I'm saying.
They had a pro in Ed Pinckney.
Yeah, they had NBA
they
players.
had dudes. McLean was a dude. That's the difference. Nobody knew anything about FAU coming into this season.
Nothing.
Other than Sean Paul. Nobody can mention.
Other than
name
Sean
a name.
Paul. Good point.
Right?
Yeah, other than Sean Paul.
All right, look, we have to get into today's games. We're going to be breaking them all down. Before we do, a quick message from our sponsor and our partners over at Underdog Fantasy as Dagan scrambles to make sure he's ready for the commercial. Today's episode is brought to you by Underdog Fantasy, the easiest place to play college basketball pick'em, where you can get a little extra sweat during March Madness and win real cash prizes simply by picking player stats in this weekend's games. In pick'em, All you do is predict whether a player will go higher or lower on Underdog's projected totals, whether that's points, rebounds, whatever. For example, if you're like me and you think Zach Edey is going to go nuts in this tournament, pick higher on his points projection, add up to 4 more picks, and if you hit them all, you can win 20 times your money on a single game. Underdog's slick mobile app is easy enough that dummies like Jeff Goodman have even figured it out. So go to underdogfantasy.com or download the app and use the code FIELD, FIELD, and Underdog will match your deposit up to $100. Now is the time to get in on the madness. So remember, underdogfantasy.com, promo code FIELD. Welcome back, Field of 68 After Dark. I guess it's Field of 68 afternoon today. Afternoon before
Field of
noon.
68 after
It's
coffee.
Field of 68 morning.
Field of 68 after coffee.
Vegas,
We're live.
it is.
There's a lot of
That's
energy
what you said.
today.
We're live over here at Stadium Swim, presented by Bet Rivers, presented by our partners.
Just went to bed early.
Underdog. I needed to.
You're so soft.
Bet your ass
You
off.
are the softest.
I needed to. Listen,
I mean, T.O. at least fought back.
I did. I battled.
Right.
I thought I was on the losing
Dauster
end for
would
a
have been
long
done
time.
For
there.
a week. With what you got, he would have been out for a week.
No doubt.
not true. Creighton, San Diego State.
Fast or soft? I'm ACC
Fast or
soft.
soft.
That's fast or soft.
Fast or soft. Trust me. Creighton, San Diego State. Creighton's favored by 2.5 points. How do you see this matchup playing out, TL?
You know what? The more I look at San Diego State, the more I like them. Those dudes guard, and they're grown-ass men, all of them. They're old, they're physical, they're deep. 8 guys averaging over 6 points a game. And people are like, 6 points a game, why do you even bring that up? Because typically when you look at stat sheets, you have a 20 guy, 14 guy, an 8-7, then it falls off. Or you have 4 or 5 guys right around 10 to 12, falls off. Not with this team.
Also, 6 for San Diego State is like 10 for most teams.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep. I can't get over the fact that I think that there's a significant talent advantage for Creighton.
Is there, though?
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
Is there?
They
got
got
a couple guys. They got like a level up.
Yes.
Like, I think
Sure,
all those
yeah, of
guys are
course.
like one level up. Maybe not. I mean, again, how many NBA guys do you have? We thought Arthur Kaluma would be a dude, and he hasn't been this year.
That's right.
He's been another really good player. They've got 5 really good players, and that's the beauty of Creighton. Like, Greg McDermott can go anywhere.
Sure.
Yes.
He can go anywhere at any given time, and then in the defensive end,
They've had 3 different guys go for 30 points. You talk about how balanced San Diego State is. They have 3 different guys go for 30 points this season, 2 of them in the NCAA tournament, and that doesn't include Baylor Shireman, who's probably their best offensive weapon, or Arthur Kaluma, who last year in the tournament was the guy that went off for 24 points against Kansas.
yeah, I just think, again, the key for Creighton is you got to avoid foul trouble because you
That's
have no
huge.
depth.
Huge.
You have no depth. So there's so little margin for error. You know, I think it's kind of similar to UCLA in some ways, right? UCLA had this great team when they had Jalen Clark, and they had 5 guys, and then Bona. They obviously lost 2 of them, and that was it. To me, Creighton's gotta stay out of foul trouble, and they gotta guard. They gotta be able to guard at a high level, and I think they're better.
I'm not worried
defensively.
about Creighton guarding.
They're better. They're
Creighton's
tougher.
a really
They're more
good. There's 2 things that Creighton does really well. One, they guard without fouling. They don't put you on a foul line. They don't get their guys in foul trouble. It's very rare that you see someone have to go to the bench for Creighton with 2 fouls, especially Kalkbrenner. Never happens. When he goes to the bench, it's because he needs a rest. And with the longer TV timeouts, I don't know how much you're going to need a rest. And 2, their guys know funnel everything into Kalkbrenner.
Yep.
Just funnel everything there. Let them drive, run you off the 3-point line, and let people go at Kalkbrenner because he's a 7'1", 250-pound wall that is as good as anybody in the country. Correct me if I'm wrong. As good as anybody in the country at walling up.
Blocking shots and
And
not fouling.
just staying straight up at the rim. It's not even blocking shots. You're just ain't scoring over him.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I feel like Creighton needs to shoot the ball well in order to play against this team, but at the same time, San Diego State is 3rd in the country in 3-point defense. Like, they really defend, and not only that, like, is Nembhard going to be able to create some of these driving lanes? Is he going to be able to break down that first level of defense? I don't know if he can, because you can play every guy on that roster at San Diego State, 8-9 deep, and then pick up the ball, and then never lose energy because he can sub them in and out. Like, they're deep, they're physical, they defend. Who's going to create closeouts for Creighton? Because that's when the majority of their guys are at their best. That's what scares me a little bit for Creighton.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is that I do think that both Ryan Nembhard and Trey Alexander are able to get past the first level of defense, no matter who they're playing. I'm not necessarily worried about that. And I also believe
for 40 minutes.
Yeah, but I also believe in Greg McDermott's ability to scheme good shots for his guys.
Well, that's what he's done his whole career. I mean,
of course.
That's the thing with Mac. Like, he's an elite offensive coach who now has.
Why did you go Daddy Greg instead of Daddy Mac?
What's that?
Why'd you go Daddy Greg instead of Daddy Mac?
Daddy Mac would be better.
That would have been better.
Daddy Mac.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
Scheming
can we get
shots.
those shirts?
Sorry.
Greg Waddell, can we pull off those shirts in time for Final Four?
Yes, we can. Get it done.
How do you think Dan Hurley's going to react to me showing up with a Daddy Mac shirt?
I think it'll be more motivation. I think he's going to put your picture on a dartboard.
We need a Hurley sees all
It's already
t-shirt.
there. Trust me, it was there. It was there in December and January.
We need a Hurley sees all and then a picture of his glasses on a T-shirt. That'd be fire too.
Hurley with the
backwards cap and glasses, and it says Hurley sees all.
He's a national treasure.
That'd be fire.
He really is. Dan Hurley is a national treasure.
There's no question.
And I can't wait to have Bobby on this set this week. He will come by at some point, and the stories that he's going to tell about his brother. And I'm going to avoid one topic. Don't worry.
Just don't ask them.
Don't do it.
Don't
do it. I will dump my coffee on you. I'm going to dump it on you.
Don't ask.
Move on.
Have you guys seen the movie Sling Blade?
No.
Yeah, years ago.
Years ago?
Yeah.
To me, like whenever Hurley's looking at the referees, like over the brim of his glasses, he looks like Sling Blade.
His face.
Do you know who that is? You don't know who Sling Blade is? Okay. You know who I'm talking about. Okay.
Is that a good Dan Hurley?
He's like trying to hold his glasses on his nose.
And then when both Hurleys, they put their hands behind their backs when they get up near the refs. You know, because I think they've been told, like, if they have their hands behind their backs, they're less likely to pick up a technical. They get so emotional.
Otherwise, they're just
right. They're throwing their arms. Right. No, it's elite level. Maybe we can get Big Bob on. I don't really know Bob Senior.
What we need to do is we need to get Andrea Hurley on.
Oh, we can get Andrea on easy. She will crush her husband.
That is
actually, we need to do that. Yeah,
Put glasses on.
We get the whole Hurley family this week.
Yeah, that'd be great.
the whole Hurley family.
Call it the Hurley family reunion. Sans Danny.
Let's do it.
They just rag on him the whole time.
I wonder if Doug, if Creighton wins today, San Antonio plays, I believe, on Friday and Sunday, Friday and Sunday, in like the Bay Area. But I'm going to make a plea if they win to Greg Popovich. It doesn't matter anyway. You guys stink. Just let Doug go to the Final Four if they win today. You don't need him. You can tank without him. With or without him, you're gonna tank. You're gonna be fine.
They do stink.
I was gonna say part of the reason he's out there and they're playing is because they're
He's making a lot of money.
I know.
A lot of money for Doug.
I would love to be able to make a lot of money and just to lose basketball games. I could do that.
Going cringy for Wemby? Is that what we're doing?
If you really want to lose a basketball game as an NBA team, put me on the floor.
Vassar did it.
That's all you got to do.
Vassar did that.
We won games when I was there. All right. You got anything else to add on this?
No, I'm done. I don't have anything else. There's nothing left in the tank.
You know what? Can I say this?
No.
About San Diego State?
No.
Yes.
Really cool to watch that program and how Steve Fisher took it over from, it was a dump when he took it over. And two of the best games I've ever been to in my college basketball, covering college basketball over 20-plus years, was San Diego State BYU with Kawhi and Jimmer. Both places, the Viejas Center is elite level.
It is awesome.
Oh, my God.
It is a wall of humans. It is straight up. It is a sweet place.
Great in managing. I just want to shout out to Mark Fisher, Steve's son, who's been battling ALS for years. One of the best human beings I've ever met in this industry. And I've been texting with him actually the last few weeks a little bit. And his son's getting older, and just really, really cool to see this program get within a game of the Final Four with, again, people not understanding what they inherited there.
Yeah. If we get Kawhi Leonard on at the Final Four, how do you think that interview is going to go?
I actually had a great interview with Kawhi a few years ago.
Did you?
Well, I did the first national story ever on Kawhi Leonard. And he showed up 45 minutes late, okay?
Yeah.
45 minutes late. Yeah. And the SID calls him, and he's like, hey, Kawhi, like, where you at? And, like, you know, at that point, you're thinking most kids, want the attention,
Yeah.
right? Really want it. And Kawhi's like, yeah, I'm helping my cousin. I'm down at the DMV, and I'll be there when I be there. And, like, he was there, and he was awesome. And but he didn't care. That's when you, like, the first time was like, he just doesn't give a shit about anything other than playing ball.
Nope. T.O.
Yeah.
Do you ever get tired of trying to prove that you won an argument, trying to prove that you were right, that your takes weren't hot, that you were, in fact, correct?
It's the worst, Dauster.
Do you ever get tired of me not recognizing when you had a correct prediction and a correct take? There's one easy
It hurts.
There's an easy way to solve that problem. Vaulted is a new sports prediction app that turns your opinions, T.O., into facts. You can store all of your predictions and hot takes in your own vault now and forever. Challenge your friends, and you can also challenge people you don't like Jeff Goodman. Keep track of the results and prove that you are, in fact, the smartest person on this panel. Vaulted is also releasing more than 50 pools when the NBA playoffs come out in the next couple of months. So download the app at the link in the description below. Sign up for your 3-month trial and store your predictions now and forever. Texas, Miami. That's the big boy game of the day. That is the highlight game of the day. We talked about it a lot last night and last couple days, but Miami's guards, shot makers, I just got a feeling that we are going to see another big game from Isaiah Wong, from Nigel Pack. It feels like this is Miami's game to lose.
I'm kind of with you there again, and I think the perimeter players, I don't want to say cancel each other out, but I don't know. I mean, they're all shot makers, right? Like, they're very similar. Tyrese Hunter, if he makes shots, that's a difference maker for Texas, right? He shot it well the other night. If he can keep you honest, that's a difference maker. But I think Norchad Omier is the difference maker. He's the guy that Texas just doesn't have anything like him. They don't have any toughness. Dylan Disu, I don't think he's going to play tonight. I'd be very, very surprised if he plays. And he's been awesome over the last few weeks. You know, to me,
He adds a different element to their offense when he plays because he can step out a little bit.
And he's kind of a rim protector.
Sure.
You know, more than anybody else on that team.
Right. So, would you say he's a difference maker? Like Tyrese Hunter's a difference maker? Like Norchad Omir's a difference maker? Like Nigel Pack's a difference maker? I think Goodman just said the entire starting lineup for both teams are difference makers.
Actually,
is that fair?
I never said that.
Yeah, you did. We have 17 different difference makers tonight.
You know who's a difference maker?
Me.
Andre Jackson
Me.
was a difference maker.
He's a stud. T.O., where do you stand on this?
You want to argue with that one?
No, absolutely not. He's elite, man.
I think it comes down to shot making guards. Which team's going to have more shot making? Nigel Pack,
Yeah,
Isaiah
you're probably
Wong,
right.
and Tyrese Hunter and Marcus Carr. Marcus Carr could shoot it. Like he gets into that 12 to 16 foot range, like he's a bucket. The only thing is, if it comes down to the end, I just don't know that there's a better isolation scorer in all of college basketball than Isaiah Wong. There's just not. And then you also have a guy. You have a rim presence as Omier, sure, but Nigel Pack, the fact that if you go under a screen from 35 feet out, he's going to shoot it from there.
And Wong's got more length. Like, that's the difference with him and all those other guys we're mentioning,
He's
right?
long,
Like, he can
long
get
arms.
his because of his length.
Absolutely.
The other guys, you know, Marcus Carr can get his shot off. We know that. But a lot of those shots are not high percentage shots.
You know what we don't talk enough about? Nigel Pack.
There's nothing we don't talk enough about.
Nigel
we talk
Pack-
about
We've
everything.
talked a lot about everything.
Nigel Pack and Marquise Noel last season were in the same backcourt.
Wow. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Imagine how many shots the rest of that team got. None.
Yeah.
No,
they didn't get a lot.
They took all of the shots. Those two dudes took all of the shots.
They were also running stagger screens like crazy instead of letting those guys rock. Because I watched film of those guys last year. Like, if they would have let those guys rock a little
I
more,
won't
the
lie to you, I
Jerome
didn't see a
Tang
lot
might
of
not be
Kansas
there.
City.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If he let those guys rock, they might have been in
Goodman,
better
you
shape.
don't understand what this guy does in the offseason, okay?
Oh, yeah.
Like, the text thread with me and Fanta, it'll be like 9 a.m. on a Saturday morning in the middle of August. And we're going to text from him and be like, guys, I was watching a little bit of DePaul film this morning. Caleb Murphy is a
I did
pro.
miss on that one. I missed on that one.
Well, he got hurt this year.
He got hurt. I missed on that one. But I got Naquan Tomlin right. I felt like I hit on that one.
That was for me, though.
Yeah.
Tang in the offseason, he was like, I don't want you to write this for the Almanac. But he's like, Naquan Tomlin, he's an NBA player.
He is.
He's a pro.
He is.
I was like, Tang, okay, I got you. This is just a coach like trying to hype his team up. He got me to buy into him. I was in on Kansas State.
No, I watched that.
Like,
He
man,
looked like JUCO Giannis.
Yeah,
like
no.
that film in his junior
because he was
college
playing the
hilarious.
lowest level of junior college basketball.
It's hilarious.
He was playing against a bunch of guys like Dagan out there.
He was crushing. He was crushing Dagan.
I'm gonna miss this. What? The setup. Like, I don't want to leave this.
No.
Like
hey, Final Four's coming back to Vegas.
The stadium swim, Circa, like it's like, to me,
it's warm.
My wife and daughter consider Disney the happiest place on earth. This is the happiest place on earth for me.
Hold on. Depends on the day. If Vegas
it's
is
never
happy.
the day. No, Disney's miserable for me.
Oh, Disney.
No, he said Vegas. It depends on the day.
Well,
Vegas depends on the day.
Good for me.
Okay, so
I
depends on the day and
pretty
depends
good.
on the coffee.
Are you feeling good? Are you feeling
feeling
good?
awesome.
Because I got some money I got to
I
make
didn't
back.
get any sleep, but I'm feeling awesome.
How late were you up?
I was playing a little bit late.
Your voice sounds like you were playing.
Oh, I was good.
When
when
you come in here and you're talking like this, that's when we know. You can tell how late Goodman was up by how hoarse he
That's
is.
very true.
He also put 4 shots of espresso in your little fruity drink you got over there.
There's a lot more in there than just
How many
espresso.
What did you put in there? What is in there? No wonder why I'm like friggin' flying here. What did you put in there?
Don't worry about it.
What is it?
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Listen.
Next thing you know,
all right.
he's gonna be putting like gummies in my sandwich or something.
That would make for a fun afternoon.
Give me some predictions and we'll get out of here. Predictions for today.
I like Miami. I like Miami over Texas. It's going to be a hell of a ball game. Obviously, O'Meara has to stay out of foul trouble. Yeah. I think that's another major part. O'Meara's staying out of foul trouble.
He's not a rim protector, and they're going to be driving on him.
That's right, but he's a rim. He's not a traditional rim protector, but I feel like there's different ways to protect the rim. Like if you meet over there early, you take charges. He does that. He can get up there and contest some shots. He's a rim protector in that matter. And then Miami's guards, they're not great defensively, but I feel like they do enough to funnel into the right spots. So you're right. He's not a traditional rim protector, but I think he has to stay out of foul trouble because he brings that physical element to the Hurricanes team. I like Miami. I think Texas is favored 3.5.
Yeah, I like
Miami to actually win this game.
Miami is a plus 160 underdog.
I don't know what that
According
means.
to Bet Rivers.
But
it means if you bet $100.
I like Miami to win it. As far as San Diego State Creighton, it's a toss-up, but I feel like San Diego State, they defend. They're old.
You're on the Aztecs wagon.
I am
you really
a little
have
bit.
Jumped on there.
I am, and I just because of the balance, 2 30-point scores in the postseason. You
There's
said
a lot
two different
of
ones.
room.
A lot of room. No,
You're the only one on it.
I'm the only one on it.
You're the only one on it.
Yeah, it's kind of sad because I've loved that program. I've been around it a ton. Every year I used to go out.
You reference what they inherited, what Fisher inherited. 3 wins the year before he took it. 3.
Amazing.
3 wins. I looked
Now
that up.
again, you look at it, you're like, okay, why they should be good? Like that program should be good. But you know what? If you don't have any history to it, again, like, okay, yeah, you got the beats. That's good and all, but you need to build a home court advantage. You need to get the students involved.
Beach, the weather,
Fisher
the home
did
court
it.
advantage. Tijuana's right there.
It's actually hard, though. In a way, it's harder. Like some of these schools, Miami, people would think, oh, Miami's a great, great program, right? Easy. Well, it's a pro sports town.
Right.
I've always equated Miami to Boston College in the ACC, right? That's those 2 schools. The only difference is the weather, but they're both pro sports towns. What Larinaga has done there is incredible. Incredible.
What I would say about Miami is that there is a fan base that loves the U. Yeah. That loves the U. For football, and I think that it seeps over into basketball a little bit when they are good. I don't know if that exists for Boston College. I just don't think it
No, it's very similar. Trust me. You got to win at a high level.
Yeah.
And when Miami did, if you remember, they did it, I think it was Larinaga's like second or third year. And LeBron and D-Wade and all those guys, I was at a game. They were down in that front row. Boston College, the only way they get dudes, Doug Flutie coming and guys like that, is when they're winning with Jared Dudley, Craig Smith, those guys.
Oh, that was a fun team. Sean Williams.
They're very similar jobs other than the weather. And in a way, the weather hurts you because people don't want to go to a game. They want to be outside.
If you say so.
He's done an unbelievable job.
I think he's just riding for Boston over here. That's all this is. The Boston guy is trying to ride
He's even
for
trying to
Boston.
get out of Boston.
Yeah, he is. Listen, this has been the Field of 68 afternoon. T.O.
Done?
Field of 68 after coffee.
Done already?
Field of 68 after
Well, that's because you showed up
I want
late.
another one of these.
If you showed up
If
on
you had
time,
another one,
you
your
would
heart
have had a
might go
normal
out.
show. You got San Diego State and Miami advancing.
I do.
You got both the dogs. Who do you have?
I got Creighton in Miami.
I am on Creighton, and I am on Miami. I'm going to go downstairs to the sportsbook right now, and I'm going to.
All 3 of us pick Miami.
I'm throwing on vaulted.
I'm gonna parlay those. I'm going to make all of my money back that I lost playing blackjack. For Jeff Goodman, for Terrence Oglesby, we are going to be live 4:30 today, right around there. As soon as the second game ends, we're going live. We're streaming. Then we got a reservation. Really nice steak dinner.
Did you do it?
Because
You got one?
I got one.
Where?
Don't you worry about it.
No,
We'll see you
we
guys
cannot
later.
let Dauster pick.
Yeah, we can
no
see you-
chance. No chance.
I didn't pick.
All right, Aaron picked.
We will see you
All
guys
right, good
tonight,
job.
4 o'clock,
I'm
Field of
okay.
68.